to my channel. So today I feel like I need to be honest with myself and with you. I do not feel like I need to have a beauty bank anymore, and I think today, at least for now, is the day that I say goodbye to all the point systems. I know that some of you have found it useful, especially last year, not so much this year, but I did get quite a few comments last year where you found it useful watching my updates, and I think that's great. But ultimately, I have decided that I don't want to be on a no buy or a low buy at the moment. I just don't think it's something that I feel like I need to do, and I think that's really the main thing. I did it last year because I felt like, you know, this would be a good way to make sure that I'm not bringing in too much makeup into my collection, and I really did a good job last year. And what I'm finding is, because, I don't know, maybe I'm just focusing more on hitting eyeshadow pans than really anything else. I've only just reintroduced a project pan back into my life, and I've been a bit slow on finishing items so far. So I don't know, there's just something about it where I just kind of feel like buying stuff when I want to buy stuff, and I'm not going to be apologetic about it. So I will still do like a monthly wrap-up video of all of the pans I've hit this month, any makeup items that I have finished, any new makeup that has come into my life, but I'm just not going to track the point system anymore. So it's going to be more like a beauty monthly update. And this year I did incorporate like adding in a few other bits, like what music have I listened to, what movies did I watch, and I think I might keep that in. I'm hoping not to have such a big update in every single video for that, because I just don't know if anyone is interested in hearing about that, because obviously this is makeup specific. So I think we'll start with the eyeshadow pans. There are, there's only one here that would be a spoiler if you haven't seen one of my videos, but it is one of my Pandas eyeshadows that I have yet to do an update on, and I will have that coming very soon. So it's a little bit of a spoiler, but I did hit pan in my P. Louise Blend Away palette, and I've been working on this shade right here called Stick With It. So really excited to be able to roll this palette out, and I have a pan. They're not super deep, I just didn't know, right? Because I've never hit pan in a P. Louise palette before, and I did. Obviously you have to watch my Pandas eyeshadows update to see how many uses it took me to hit pan, because it wasn't like a 2 hit and then I'm done. It took a bit of time. Another one that I hit pan on, which I feel like, I don't think I mentioned this in my last beauty bank update, but I do feel like it was like a whole month ago that I hit pan in this, and it is in my ABH Nouveau palette, and it is in the shade Paloma, which is just the neutral shade down here. Now I hit pan in this just when it was in my Shop My Stash, so I wasn't trying to hit pan on it. However, it is one of the eyeshadow palettes that is in my year-long eyeshadow project pan, where I want to use every single shade 24 times or hit pan. So obviously that one is no longer in the project because I've hit pan. And I did update it when I did my first update of the year-long earlier this month. So this again wouldn't be a spoiler if you've seen that video. And then 3 more pans that I've hit, which I just spoke about in my Project Level Up video, is in the Artemis from Alter Ego. This is my level 3 palette right now, and I hit pan in all 3 of these shades. This one, and this one. So very excited. It's not rolling out yet, but if you saw the update, you know that I rolled in my level 4. That's 5 new pans that I've hit this month, which is super exciting. I always love it when I can get to at least a good 4 or 5 number. I think it helps obviously with the fact that I do have eyeshadow projects happening. I don't think that I would really hit 5 pans a month if I didn't have those projects. So they definitely help me to focus on certain shades and have a goal in mind. So I appreciate that. Okay, let's get into some juicy bits. I will talk through some new makeup that I got. I think I have spoken about all of these in videos. In my Shop My Stash, the last one that I posted, I did mention that I picked up the Beauty Bay Bronze Blush and Glow palette. This is the fair palette. They have a different shade range, and I got the fair light one, and I think I like this. It's currently in my Shop My Stash, so I'm using it when I want to. I don't have a specific goal in mind as to when I want to use it. I do recall though, I've had a Beauty Bay highlighter before in the past and I had to declutter it because I didn't enjoy it, and I've remembered now that I don't really enjoy their formula that much on the skin. They do emphasize a lot of my texture, however, as an inner corner it's fine. So something to, just to remind myself, I forgot when I got this. The two blushes are really beautiful. They're actually really pigmented, so again, something that I didn't know, but now I know that they are extremely pigmented. The bronzer is also pretty pigmented, and I don't think the color is too bad. I thought it would be a little too yellow warm tone for me, but so far I haven't had any issues with it. It doesn't seem too dark. So yeah, I'm enjoying this. Is it going to be my favorite face palette in the world? No, but I do really love the blushes, and I think that's what brings it up. I also mentioned that I picked up the Revolution Skin Silk Foundation this month, and this I'm going to mention later on in the video, but I really enjoy this. I really do. I'm not wearing it today because I was going to be outside, so I really did very minimal. I was going to do very minimal makeup, and then I just got a little bit wild and crazy, and I kept putting more and more on. But I don't have it on today, but almost every single time I've worn my makeup since I rolled it into my Shop My Stash, I have used this, and I really enjoy it. And then I did also have a haul from Lunar Beauty. I'd never tried Lunar Beauty before, so I picked up the Moon Prism cheek palette. This is obviously all blush, and so far from the ones that I've tried, I really enjoy this. They aren't super pigmented, so you can build them up, but they're not like awful where you can't see them as well. They're like, I feel like they're really nice, an in-between balance of, you know, building it up to where you want it to be, and I don't really feel like you can make a mistake by going in quite heavy-handed, and usually I go in heavy-handed. Like this one is definitely not as pigmented as the Beauty Bay ones, so if you're familiar with the Beauty Bay ones, I feel like they're very pigmented, and you know, you go in and it's like, oh, and then you have to kind of diffuse it. This one's the opposite, where I actually prefer that. So I think all the colors that I've tried have been beautiful. I like it. And then I also picked up two eyeshadow palettes. I got the new Moonshroom one, which I have a video on, and I've spoken quite a lot about this palette. So I do like it. I'm not 100% sold on it, really, just in terms of the formula, but I love the color story, and I do need to play around with it a little bit more, but I did do a 3 looks 1 palette with it, which was really enjoyable. And then I haven't tried this one, which is the Nude Prism one, but I've been wanting to have this, and I am waiting desperately to jump into this. Hopefully this week I will jump into this, because I'll be working this next week. So hopefully I will get a little bit use out of those. But yeah, you can see, obviously, if I still had my point system, I would be at a negative like 40 something, I think, at this point. Because even though I had the pans, usually pans give you more points in the way that I was tracking my system. It's still with all the makeup that I'm bringing in, it's just not enough. I didn't finish any makeup items this month, however, I did finish a sunscreen. I finished the Ionic Centella Calming Daily Sunscreen. This was sent to me by Stylevana, and I really enjoyed it, and I finished it now, and I'm actually working on this one, which was also sent from them. This is from, I always forget what the brand is. Oh, Common Labs. This is from Common Labs, and it's the Vitamin C Brightening Sun Serum. It's definitely more of a serum, whereas this is more of your typical sunscreen, like as a cream. This was really lightweight and lovely and not greasy at all, and I would be so happy to have this again. I actually thought this was really pleasant on the skin. This one, I feel like it's definitely more of a serum. It doesn't have a cream base at all. I've been wearing this, as soon as I finish that, I've been wearing this pretty much every day. And so far, I don't know if I prefer it, but I don't not like it. So there's that, I don't know. But anyway, I've been working on that one. But anyway, yeah, I finished this. I also finished, finally, this one where I've had it for 3 years, and I just didn't want to finish it, and it's just a little sample. It's from Avant. It's the Hyaluronic Collagen Marquise Aqua Propanol Glycolic Age Restore 3-in-1 Hyaluron Filler Collagen Eye Formula. It's 10 millimeters, which is what, 0.34 fluid ounces for my US viewers. there's like tiny bits in here, and it's an eye cream. Well, I mean, it's an eye cream. I like it. I loved it actually, and I finally finished it. I'd had it for 3 years. Finally gone. It's gone. I was really hoping to have one of my Project Pan products finished for this update, but I feel like I have one more use. It is the PS brightening primer. You can see I'm working it, but every time I go back into this, there is product. It's all down here, so I'm not gonna call it done until it is done, so next month. But yeah, I was hoping this would be done by this update, but it's not. All right, so let's get into my favorite items that I've used this month. There's only 2 of them. One of them isn't even, I wouldn't consider it a beauty item. It's more like of a hygiene item or a smell item. I don't really even know what it is, but I'm slightly embarrassed to even talk about this, but I really enjoy it. And I didn't buy it thinking it was gonna be great. I just bought it because I needed deodorant. It is the Old Spice. Yes, it's Old Spice. This is actually, I think this is a men's deodorant. This is Old Spice Rockstar, scent of vibrant bergamot. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. And it is a gel. And I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh, I am in love with this. I have been struggling ever since we moved to Portugal to find a deodorant here that A, works for me, and that B, I like, and that also isn't an air spray, because I don't like those aerosol ones. I read years and years ago it causes breast cancer. Whether that's true or not, it's stuck in my brain, and I will not spray under my arms. So I way prefer like gels, or obviously the creams, and I don't like the roll-ons because they're always like, I feel like my pits are always wet afterwards. I know this is like too much information, but you know, I just don't enjoy that. And obviously it's a humid climate. I need some nice smelling deodorant. So I went into the men's section and I grabbed this, and I'm gonna grab more. I love it. I love the smell. It doesn't smell like a man. It really doesn't. It's so pleasant. It is also not in your face. I know a lot of men's deodorant can be like really overpowering. This is almost got like a sweetness to it. It's absolutely lovely. I love it. And I never thought I would say I love my favorite product this month is an Old Spice product. But there you go. Even my partner was like, Old Spice? Why are you buying all that? I know, I get you, but I love it. I love it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be honest. I love it. I've been loving it. Okay, and then an actual makeup item that I've been enjoying, I did kind of allude to it, but I really have been enjoying the Revolution Skin Silk. I've been just kind of like fallen in love with this. I have no bad things to say about this foundation. Obviously it's super affordable as well. This is a great color for me. This is the F2. I have used a Revolution foundation before in the past, and I feel like I was F2, so I just went with the shade that I felt like I was. If anything, it could be just a little bit too light, because obviously as I get a little bit more like tan, I don't know if this is going to work so much in the summertime, so I might need to get like F3. But other than that, it is so nice, and it's lightweight. It's not super thick. I do find that it does have good coverage as well. I'm loving this. I really am. And I've been humming and ahhing about certain foundations in my collection, like the NARS one. Like, I don't know what it is about that one, but I don't love it. Also the Charlotte Tilbury, I don't know what it is about it, but I don't love it, and they're so expensive. And then you have little Revolution coming out with a wonderful foundation. So if you haven't tried it, I would definitely recommend. Although obviously everybody prefers different types of foundation and finishes. This is a luminous serum foundation. That's what they say, and I would definitely agree with it. I do tend to like serum foundations, but I think the problem with most of them is they just don't have the coverage that I'm looking for, and I think this does actually have the coverage. So I've been loving this one, and definitely a #1 makeup favorite for this month because I don't have any more. Okay, and then I thought I would add in just a couple of looks that I've really enjoyed this month. I do enjoy most of the looks that I create, but there are 2 that spring to mind of my favorites, and one of them I didn't even show it in a video. I showed it very briefly in my book video. I have a book channel. We went on a little mini one-day road trip at the beginning of the month. We went up north, which is like 3 hours. We went 3 hours north, so I was in the car literally all day because we weren't there very long, and then we came right back. But we obviously brought our dog because we didn't want to leave him all day, but brought our son, took the day off because we had to do something up there. So I used the Hocus Pocus 2 from ColourPop for the look, and I really just loved how simple it was. I loved the pop of green. So what I did was, and it's nothing like special, like this look is nothing special, but for me, I personally enjoyed it. So I'm going to talk about it. So I went in, I couldn't tell you exactly which shades I used. I feel like I went into these two over down here. So I went into Cometh to Us, 29 Days, and Havoc. I kind of used a blend of all three of those. And then what I wanted to do is go into Cursed, and now I put that in my inner corner, and I just felt like that gave a really beautiful pop of limey green, because it's not often that you can really wear lime green. I think with these beautiful browns, it really, really worked. So that was definitely a favorite look of mine, and it was right at the beginning of the month. And then at the time I didn't realize it looked so beautiful, but when I was editing my video, when I did my Moonshroom palette sort of first impressions, the third look that I did, which is the last look and the one where I'm speaking the most in the video, I thought that was like definitely one of my favorite looks for this month, because I just loved how like rich it looked. And yeah, really, really enjoyed that one. And that one I used a combination of this, which is Foxfire, Fuzzy Foot. We also went into, what else did we do? I think we did we basically did this quad, and it was really beautiful because all these shades mesh really, really well together. So I don't know, I really, really enjoyed that look. And then before we move on to anything that's non-beauty related, I do want to go into some stats because I haven't done this in a long time, and I wanted to go through my total eyeshadow pans, the eyeshadow in my collection at this point in time that I've used the most this year, the palettes that I've used the most. I'm going to do top 3, and then also the palette with the most pans, and then also my pan percentage, because I never update in my pan those eyeshadows what they are, and I see other people doing it, so I just figured I'd do it in this video. So let's get into it. So my total eyeshadow pans in my collection at the moment is 79. It's definitely dropped, but also bumped up. So it's been like going up and down, because from the eyeshadow palettes that I decluttered back in December, a lot of those had a lot of pans in them. Like my Beauty Bay Book of Magic had a lot of pans. Obviously, my Pan That palette from last year, the e.l.f. Retro Paradise palette, had a lot of pans. A lot of my Nomad palettes had a lot of pans, and sadly I had to let a lot of those go. So I definitely dropped in that respect, but I do have 79 currently eyeshadow pans in my collection. My pan percentage is 7.55%. I don't know if that's good or bad compared to other people. I mean, yeah, I guess it would be nice to get 10%. I'm not too bothered by pan percentage, but just gives you an indicator of what it is. My collection definitely has grown quite a lot. So, you know, it fluctuates, obviously. If I don't buy any more eyeshadow for the next month or two, then that should surely get better. But then obviously, as soon as I do buy an eyeshadow palette, then that drops down. And that does include the new Luna Beauty palette. So I've added them in. So the 7.55 does include those two new ones. All right, so the palette with the most pans at the moment currently in my collection is my Urban Decay Stone Vibes palette. This is my Pan That palette for this year, so it kind of makes sense. I have 7 pans in this at the moment. And I don't really want to show you because my Pan That palette update is next week. But if you want to see what's going on in this, then obviously stay tuned and watch that. But I have 7 pans, and that's the most in any palette currently at the moment in my collection. All right, and then for this year alone, the eyeshadow palettes that I've used the most, this won't be a shock to anyone because obviously the first one is my Stone Vibes palette from Urban Decay. I have used this 79 times so far this year, and that does not include the last month because I haven't added those numbers in because I haven't done the update yet, because obviously I could still use this tomorrow blah, blah, blah. So I haven't officially counted the month of April for those numbers. I feel like that's a lot. That's a lot. That's every time I have dipped into one of the shades. It's not dipping into the shade multiple times during one look. I don't count them that way. So if I went into Good Karma once today, that's one use. If I went into it once yesterday and the day before, obviously those are just 3 uses. It's not me going back in all the time. So anyway, 79 uses on this palette this year alone. Then we have the Norvina, which doesn't surprise me because this was in my project level up for the level 2. So this one I used 38 times, quite a bit less, but still I had to dip into this a lot to get a lot of use out of it. So this one got quite a lot of use this year so far, and I love this palette, and I got some pans, so I was excited about that. And then again, unsurprisingly, the third one is the Artemis from Alter Ego. I've used this 32 times. And this one, I still on my level 3, and I still have yet to use all of the shades 3 times. So this one will surpass the Norvina pretty much in the next couple of weeks. However, at the moment it's in 3rd place. So I just thought that would be kind of interesting. These are the 3 palettes that I've used the most. Obviously this one, front runner, and probably no one will be able to to beat it this year, but I think it'll be interesting to see how these fare when I start working on other palettes. And then it doesn't come to any surprise as well that the eyeshadows I've used the most come from the Stone Vibes. The first one, which is Good Karma, which is the lightest shade. Again, I don't want to show you the palettes. It's probably stupid doing this, but I've used that 21 times. And again, that doesn't include April numbers. And then Third Eye, which is the last shade in this palette, I've used 14 times. And then Antidote, which is the sort of peachy matte, I've used that 10 times. Again, doesn't include this month's numbers, but those are the 3 that I've used the most out of all of my eyeshadows. They're all from this palette, which makes sense. Okay, so moving on to any movies that I have enjoyed and that I feel like are worth talking about, and music, and I think we'll wrap the video because I'm running out of space on my camera and I realize it is quite a long video already. So I watched 7 movies this month, a little bit less than March. Honestly, a lot of crap movies. I think my average rating was like 2 out of 5 stars. A lot of bad movies I watched. I watched Confess, Fletch, Last Night in Soho, About My Father. I all gave them 2.5 stars. Didn't enjoy any of them. Also, we watched Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. Didn't enjoy the first one, so I didn't think I would enjoy the second one, and I didn't. I gave it a 2 star. I just thought it was really, really bad. We also watched The Invitation, which is with vampires, but I just didn't think it was good. So I gave that a 2 star. And I also watched Beautiful Disaster. This one, that was the last one that I watched just a few days ago. This is apparently based on a book. This is definitely not my age group. However, I watched it, I gave it 2.5. I actually kind of enjoyed it. It was so bad, but it was one of those movies that you kind of enjoy watching. Anyway, whatever. The best movie that I watched, which I feel like everybody hates, was Cherry. This is a 2021 movie with Tom Holland, and I'd never seen it before, and it's got a 2.8 rating on Letterboxd, and so I thought, well, this is probably gonna be bad, but I put it on and I actually really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I didn't mind this. I mean, maybe people hated it because, you know, there's a lot of drugs in it, a lot of drug use. It's like the disgusting part of being basically an addict. I don't know what people expected from the movie. I haven't read the book as well, so it's based on a novel, so maybe the novel is better than the movie. I watched the movie. I actually kind of liked it, and I gave it a 4 star. So this was the best movie I watched all month, and it's a movie most people hate, and I gave it 4 stars. So I don't know. It's, yeah, I don't know if I could even recommend this to anyone because maybe it's just me. Maybe I was in the right headspace to watch it. I enjoyed watching it. I did. So really quickly on to music, nothing very interesting for me. I listened to Sister Hazel. I don't know. I don't know why I listen to them. I mean, I only like maybe 3 of their songs, but they were my top artist of the month because I was just listening to their whole discography, something like that. Anyway, I was listening to a bunch of them. I also discovered NF, who really reminds me of Eminem. He seems to be very influenced by him. I listened to, I think, his album. I don't think I'd ever heard of him before, but I did know one of his songs, and I think that's why I was like, well, let me look at his album. It definitely reminds me of Eminem, just the way that he kind of, his songs are and the way he raps. Anyway, also listen to Taylor Swift. Her new album came out. I'm not a Swiftie, so I don't want to break anyone's hearts. I do enjoy her music, but I'm definitely not like a Swiftie. So with that being said, I did listen to the new album and I don't remember a single song about it. I didn't find any of the songs very good or interesting. I think her best album was 1989, I have to say. Not that that's the year because, you know, I was born that year. I don't know. I just think that's probably her best album. But we digress. So I listened to her. And then the 4th one was Honest I don't know. I don't know why they pop up all the time. They keep, like, I tried the DJ on Spotify and they always recommend certain music to me. And I don't know. Sometimes I zone out and I let it play. And the song that I listened to the most was Hurt This Way by Lifehouse, because that, for some reason, is a song that I can listen to on repeat, and it really helps me focus on work. So I don't know, because it's not like a happy-go-lucky song or anything like that, but I listen to that a lot. So anyway, that's everything that I watched and listened to. Did watch some TV shows, but I don't feel like there's really anything to mention on here. There's nothing that I'm like, oh, I watched this and this was really good. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much. That is my monthly wrap up. If you like the video like this, let me know. Obviously, I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you, but I do want it to be more of a monthly wrap up. And if you like the eyeshadow pan stats, I could do that every month because it should hopefully change every month too, so long as I don't keep buying stuff or I keep panning eyeshadow as well. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.